This is episode 2 of our vlog for getting this wonderful boat into a liveaboard status so that we can actually move on to it and get off the land. We got a few things on the billet today. I gotta get the hull number on, which is gonna be slightly difficult due to the fact that it's kind of raining. There's breaks here and there, but we're gonna get it on. We're gonna get it done. I have that here, nice big huge letters. Gonna get that put on nice and good today. It's not black, it's kind of like a really dark blue, same as the name. I have the name on board, but we're not going to show that yet. We're going to get that onto the boat and have that ready to go for the renaming ceremony, and all you guys will be able to see it then. Also on the agenda today, we have to begin disassembling that Kohler generator I talked about last time. Get it ready to start coming off hull. I'm going to start pulling pieces apart, bringing it up here, putting it with the trash. It's probably no good, not worth even trying to resell. I'm not going to even put the time and effort into it, really, not unless somebody tells me, hey, it's a good idea, but so far I've been told it's really not. I mean, people are kind of crazy on Facebook Marketplace for random shit. Maybe somebody from the RV community wants it or something like that, but like, for the time being, definitely not something I'm really concerned about. If you can't tell, our audio has been upgraded. We have swapped from the phone to the GoPro. I forgot that I had this at home, and it's a lot easier to use. I can set it there. It's got a handle that I can use as well. It should have way better audio than what the phone was using with that kind of crappy mic that I bought. It has a wider angle and a better camera anyway. It should be shooting in like 4K or something like that. So pretty big files, honestly. Also on the agenda today, I've got a cardboard cutout of our bar that we want to put in. I'll add a picture somewhere up here for what that looks like. It's got a really pretty wood finish and a green top. It'll go perfect for our theme, for that Harry Potter theme I think talked about yesterday. Gonna see just like where it fits and make sure that the idea that we have in our head works. We're looking to kind of take that entire countertop where that sink is apart and redo the whole thing. Just rip the whole thing down, keep the plumbing, maybe adjust it a little bit, move the sink over, just take the whole countertop off, see if we can get this bar to go in place, make it really pretty, really nice for someone to walk down in and see it and, come sit down and enjoy a beer or two, something like that with us. It'll also open up a lot of storage. The bar has a backing to it that's like completely open, so designing that to be able to fit with the sink will work amazing because you'll have the under sink and then you'll have underneath the bar as well behind it. So there's just going to be an exponential amount of room underneath that with a beautiful place to sit. It'll go really well with the room. It'll give it kind of more of a finished kind of look idea type thing, in the sense that it's like, it looks expensive, but it's really not that expensive for us because it was kind of given to us. But we're going to use it to our advantage. I'm going to find some way to get it in the boat, make it fit through this door here, take it apart if I have to, put it back together down there, which I'm sure I'll have to do with a lot of things. And we're going to go from there. But other than that, I don't think I really have anything else on the agenda for today. I think that's just that stuff. Maybe get some extra clips of the boat and stuff. Maybe some pictures or something like that to post along with it. But for right now, that's what we're going to do. We're going to get the generator, the hull number, and we're going to check out the cardboard cutout, see if that all works out there, and kind of just go from there and see what happens. To add for an update, I went to a place called Longship Marine. I will tag their website name down below the video. They are located in Paulsbo, Washington, and they are right next to the Paulsbo Public Marina. They say that they prefer to have the boats come up and just port in at the marina. That's the best way to get up there and view them. It's literally right there. The Paulsbo Marina is currently under some construction, so it's a little difficult to get a space there. It's kind of expensive because Paulsbo is just expensive generally, but it's not that bad. There is free parking for if you drive up there type idea, but for somebody who maybe lives a while away, doesn't want to drive from Tacoma all the way to Paulsbo, that hour-long drive. But that shop is absolutely amazing. We went in there and we picked up a handheld pump to pump up the new dinghy that we're supposed to be getting today. We actually weren't able to get it done yesterday or the day before whenever we were doing it. The guy kind of accidentally forgot that I was supposed to be coming out there, so I sat around for about an hour at the place he said to meet, and he just wasn't there. But he has recontacted me. We've reset up. We're going to go out there today. We're going to get that dinghy. We're going to bring it back, and I will get a video. It's probably going to be dark when I do that, but I might do it either today or tomorrow. Get a video of what that dinghy looks like and how it's set up. But we got a pump for it. The hose for it's right here. The pump's put away already, so that we don't have to worry about it if somebody's seeing it from outside and trying to come in and take it. We got a handheld kind of spotlight. It's a deck light. It's to replace the spotlight up on top. That spotlight doesn't work anymore. We actually just recently found out. And we're going to just completely remove it and mount this thing to the fly bridge so that we can use it, kind of just handheld, move it around. Super easy, super efficient. You know, I can change the light bulbs right then and there. Not a big hassle at that point. We got all this line. So we got a 47 and a 45 foot, I think is the other one. These were kind of hanging up on the wall, out of the way, couldn't see them, but these are perfect. These are the exact same kind of lines I'm already using to dock the boat. Extremely cheap for what I was looking for. We also got a one burner, butane stovetop. We have decided that the stovetop and oven that we have are not going to be efficient. They are the electric stovetop and the electric oven, and it just wouldn't work out well for us. It'd drain the batteries really fast once we get them installed, and we're going to kind of skip over that. We're going to use this butane stovetop to cook on. We're going to have one for right now. Later on we'll get a dual one. We'll have two. Two is really all we need. It's kind of excessive on its own. But it'll work out well. I think it'll go great. Butane's a little difficult to get a hold of right now, at least out here. There's only a few stores that I know of that actually sell it. Longship Marine does sell it. But we also got a inverter charger, the thing that we needed for the boat originally. And the really cool thing is that this place, it uses, what is it called? Consigners, I think is what it's called. I could be pronouncing that wrong. It's basically where somebody pulls parts from their boats, whether it's them or someone professional or something like that, and they say, hey, I don't need this anymore. If you sell it for me, I will give you X amount of money from the sale. And they go and sell it in the store, and they get whatever money they get from it, and the boat owner gets money from it. It helps them out, it helps us out, makes things easier to get for, and for them to be able to restore their boat as well. And we ended up walking out with an inverter charger, a 2500 watt 12 volt, along with the lines, the light, the grill, the pump, and all that stuff. I think it was $359 in total when I walked out. They definitely helped me out a lot. I am very grateful that my buddy Nico sent me in that direction, and if it wasn't for him I would have never even known it existed. But that inverter charger is going to be extremely helpful now that we actually already have it. I can't install it yet because I don't have anything else to do it with, and I'm probably going to need some help because I'm not good at electrical stuff. But once we get the batteries from the friend that I'm getting them from, and we get our solar panels. We're also looking at getting wind turbine type power, one or two of them. They're about 500 watts a piece. They would help out really well with being able to tandem with the solar panels, because on a day like today where it's like extremely cloudy and in the middle of kind of a storm like how it is, it's going to be kind of difficult to get a lot of power from the solar panels. They obviously say like, oh, they do 1,000 watts or something like that, but that just means that they were good up to is about 1,000 watts. You know, they may produce only like 600 watts or something like that during that time. But we do plan to cover the whole flybridge with it, so there'll be quite a few solar panels up there to be able to do it with. Sorry, I'm a little congested from being on the end of a sick run. Well, having the wind turbines up there will be pretty good too. They basically just do the same thing as the solar panels, obviously just with the wind. But then again, like we said, we're going to have the main engines hooked up, and we're going to actually buy a small portable generator type idea and just keep it stowed down there, so that if something happens, we can, you know, power that up. I was recommended by somebody from Longship Marine that there's a generator out there that I have to look into that I can plug my 30 amp shore power cord into, so I could technically just plug the generator straight into it and it powers the boat while the battery banks charge or something like that. That way there I can just kind of flip between them, let the banks charge, not use them, use the generator for a little bit, Once the banks are charged up again and they haven't been used, flip back over and shut the generator off. Just as like a very last resort means. Have the solar panel and the wind turbine as primary, have the engines as a backup, and then the generator is like a third redundancy. I think I've done enough rambling about the boat, about the things that we're gonna do. Let's actually get something done. Let's go put this hull number on. It has stopped raining right now. I got a towel to wipe off the boat. I got some heat that I can use to heat up the side of the hull a little bit so that it's not really cold, because technically this vinyl should be applied with a little bit of heat. And it's not ideal temperature or weather to do it, but we're gonna make it work. And this vinyl should technically last up to 2 years, provided it sticks on well, before it starts to like really fade really badly and has to be replaced type idea. But for the time being, should be absolutely perfect for us to do everything that we need to do, and not have any issues with the Coast Guard or local authorities or anything else like that. So let's get to it. We're gonna be putting it right here on the hull, across right here, so it's perfectly visible for anybody to see that's trying to come on board or anything else like that, or needs to identify the boat from somewhat of a distance away. I'm gonna wipe it down, get it all cleaned up a little bit. I think it should be fine with a little bit of not doing the heat on it, but we'll see what happens. If need be, I could just replace it. I have plenty of this vinyl at home. But yeah, let's get to it. Got the number on there for the starboard side. The port side is going to be a little more difficult. I'll make sure I get a time lapse of that as well. But here she is. She is perfectly visible from a decent ways away. Sits far enough on the bow that it shouldn't be an issue for anybody to see it. We are technically supposed to have our registration sticker up here, but the previous owner decided to put it on the window up there, and I'm not comfortable with removing it and trying to move it forward. I fear that it'll fall off and gone forever type idea. Then we're in really big trouble, because then we can't prove it at all. But well, not really, we have the actual paper registration. But for now, it'll stay where it is. Next year when we go to register it again, we'll make sure that we put it up forward where it belongs. So let's get to the other side and get that side done too. Alright, we're back inside the boat now. I finally got that thing on. As you can see, it was a little difficult. My back was killing me. I have some pretty bad back problems from being in the Navy. But it's on there. I expect that maybe 1 or 2 of those letters might fall off. It's possible. I don't think that they will, but it definitely seemed like there was 1 or 2 of them there that were a little iffy. So we'll keep an eye out and see what happens. You know, it might come down one day and all of a sudden one was missing, but I have plenty of vinyl at home. It's easy to replace them. I have the whole schematic for those saved, so I can just easily hit print and there you go, good to go. So let's get this piece of cardboard down here and check out the size of the bar and stuff, take some pictures, send it to the girlfriend, see what she thinks. So I've got the piece of cardboard set up here. It's the top of the bar. It's kind of just to give an idea of where it would sit. The top of the bar is kind of the biggest part. It's the biggest part, and if you can kind of imagine when you look at it, the underside of it kind of just being closed off, and that's just the bar. I might have to shrink it just a little bit, maybe, I'm not sure, but this is literally exactly how big it's going to be. That's the bar itself. It would kind of obviously sit down a little bit more like that, but for the most part, I think that it would look pretty cool. So it's kind of got an angle, like I was saying. These are meant to mark where the creases are. So like this is one piece, this is the center piece, this is the side piece. It's basically set up so that like this can technically fold on top of this, and this folds on top of this. So in reality, this folds over like this. So if we really needed to you know, I can make it so that the bottom of the bar sits farther in, so this just has some support, not a whole lot. And then if we're not using it type idea, we can just fold it in and not have that piece of bar there type thing. And I can just cover the top. So it's basically underneath you have bar that comes from here out and around the edge here, and then back in, of course, here. But underneath this, there's basically nothing. So like underneath where the side piece here would fold over, if you folded it over with the bottom piece torn out, you would just see straight down inside the bar. There's nothing on top there. So we could make it so that these pieces have a top underneath them, so that the piece that's kind of folded in a little bit to kind of bring the counter in still has technically a top to it, so you could put stuff on it, but only fold it out if we have like guests or something like that. Kind of leave it folded up otherwise, or if we're just kind of, you know, sitting down having a dinner and we fold it out and sit down. But yeah, this is basically what we see, and we'll let you know what she thinks. So we're back on doing the vlog here. Our friend has gone home now. Like I said, it's gonna probably be dark by the time I came back to this. We're down in the engine room now. We're gonna get this damn thing out of here. This Kohler generator. I'm gonna tear it apart best I can and see what we can do about getting it off the boat. I'm gonna set the camera up so that it's kind of like a time lapse. You can see what I'm doing. Probably not going to get a lot done today, but still going to try and do what I can. Also, kind of just to add to this, so I know I've said a lot over the times of this vlog so far that it's a refit, it's a mess. I get that. I'm going to try and stop saying that so much. I'm sure you guys get that at this point. But to give kind of an idea of how screwed up this is, if you can see right there kind of ish, this white plug, that is not actually a plug, that is the hull valve for something. It's not even a valve, it's just literally a hole with a fitting, and it just goes outside. And we traveled from Seattle to here with that like that. There's no water, it does not wet over there or anything else like that, but it's a little scary to think there was just a hole in the boat. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of places that water could have got in from something like that, but not just literally a inch hole inside of the hull. But we're gonna get that hooked up to something. We'll probably use that for like the sink or something to go overboard or something like that, and just move on with it. But let's get this fucking thing going and get as much of it up to the trash pile as we can so we get this thing off the boat. Alright, so as you've seen in the past time lapse, which for you guys is probably only gonna be a few minutes, for me it's been hours. It's kind of hard to tell because it's, you know, dark out there, light in here with this one light bulb giving me all my light. So essentially we've got most of the generator taken apart for the big issues. You can see at the beginning of the time lapse, obviously it was kind of fiddled with small things, not really caring about them. Just kind of more curious than actually pulling apart type thing. But as you've seen for the past few minutes, at the very end, struggling with that actual like power maker in the back. I don't know exactly what it's called, I have no idea. That thing is heavy as fuck. It is absolutely really, really heavy. But we've got it apart, which means that the deck can be taken out from above it and it can be hoisted up and out. We'll find some way to get that done. I'm not sure exactly how just yet. And then that means once that's out, we can take it up to the lower helm and get it off the boat. And we'll probably get some kind of wheelbarrow because I'm not lugging that all the way to the car to take it to the dump. And then from there, it's getting this actual engine part out. There's not really any use for it in any kind of way for parts or anything else like that. If that's any of you are wondering, like, hey, you should probably try and part it out. There's not really a point. I mean, you saw the spark plugs in the time lapse. They're pretty bad. But we're gonna get that out afterwards. That's probably even heavier than the other one. Might take it apart some more if I can. But as you can see here, you know, this stuff is so old. It's brittle and it just broke apart. I didn't even get to unscrew it or take the hose off of whatever was there. Oh no, it wasn't a hose. It was the pulley. I wasn't even able to take it off the hose. The fitting just kind of broke off. But all the electrical components are disconnected. The generator is 100% disconnected from the boat. I could, you know, unbolt the mounts for the actual engine part and just hoist the whole thing up if I really wanted to, but I am not sure how I'm going to do that just yet. I might have to get some friends or something like that to help me get it up and out, because I don't think that I can haul that out by myself. I am somewhat strong, but not that strong. But yeah, that is for another day, probably later this week. It's going pretty well. It's almost out. In its place is going to go that heater I've been talking about. It's going to go right here. The exhaust that's already set up, not sure if you can see that in the dark, that already goes overboard, is going to be hooked up to the heater that we're putting in. I'm going to have to probably jerry-rig a type of like adapter for it so it actually runs out the exhaust. Because the exhaust pipe from the generator is probably going to be a little bit smaller than the one that's there. We can makeshift some stuff, make it work. I am dying down here, so we're going to leave off this video where we are and come back to it on a later day. So we're back on the boat today. Gonna have some more fun with this generator stuff. Maybe do something else also, kind of keep our mind going and positive. You know, the whole, oh, I did something kind of attitude, you know? So we did find a few things. We organized a little bit off camera. I also tore some more of that engine for the generator part off camera as well. I got a little carried away. The camera died, and I left it on the boat by accident after we did the time lapse of the generator last time. But, like I said, we organized a little bit. Got the seats sitting where they're supposed to be. They're not bolted down yet, but I'm gonna bolt those down. These are actually in decent condition. Not great, decent condition. But they're good enough that they'll work for now, and you know, way down the line we can get new ones type thing. We found the door for this hatch. It's got the latch and everything, it's got all the hinges, so I can see where everything goes. I can reuse the hinges, and I can make it so it actually fits really nice and easy. With new wood, new trim, all that fun stuff, so that it'll actually look pretty. And more so match the white that's up here. But let's get on down here. Show you what I've done for the past few days. So I did get a hold of the girlfriend, and we do have the green light. Our bar is going to be set up just like this. We believe that we can make it work exactly how we're picturing it. She's a little hesitant about it, but I'm pretty sure that we can make it work. We'll just have to tailor the counter around it to it, but it'll work. So like I said, I've worked a little bit off camera. As you can see, the actual generator powering piece is up there now. That is extremely heavy and was a royal pain in the rear to get up. But I have torn apart the engine piece as much as I possibly can, just to get as many pieces off as I possibly can. I was going to take off the front and pull the shaft with the pulley, but I can't get it to wedge enough to undo that nut. It's pretty rusted on there well. So I'm going to attempt to hoist it out just the way it is. I've got the one engine mount bolt to take off, which is apparently not going to be easy to do. I was missing a wrench size that I went and bought today, and I should be able to get it out today, hopefully. It doesn't seem too heavy. It actually seems like it's probably lighter than that thing out there, which I wouldn't be surprised because that thing's just compact, full of wires and metal and shit. So to finish showing you the stuff that we've done, or that I've done so far, off camera kind of thing, I went and I pulled out most of the rotting wood here on the floor in this corner, so this whole piece can be replaced here. And then I'm going to bring my my grinder down here and get a wood piece, like a saw attachment, to cut out that floor there instead of just taking the whole board out, and use that. I've also got to replace that big chunk of the wall there, which will be relatively easy. It's something that's not going to be seen, so it doesn't need to be pretty. It just needs to actually work and stay sealed because it's another ventilation for the engine room. We have organized all the wood pieces where they're supposed to go. We put the doors in the room where they're supposed to go. We brought the good wood down from the pile that was up there. We organized the trash pile. I got the galley all cleared out so I could actually get in here and check things out. Those fucking floor pieces that are right there are actually the storage area. It was supposed to be like an ice box, like where you store your big turkeys and all your big bulk meats and stuff like that. But we're not going to use it for that, not to my knowledge. I got to talk with the girlfriend and see what she wants to do, because she's the whole galley master type thing, and gonna see what she wants to do there. I think we're just gonna end up using it as storage, because the more storage we have on the boat, the better. But I have also made the decision that I am going. So the doors that were here on the floor, I've made the decision that they're not gonna all go exactly where they're supposed to go. At least one of them. So the pretty doors, which we can go look at really quickly, so I can show you what they look like. Kind of just walk across my jigsaw puzzle of a boat. So these are those doors. They have like this teak oil finish. There's one for here, there's one for the doorway here, and then there's one for our closet, which is behind this one. And then there's one for the closet up forward. But the forward head has a just solid white door. And I think that is ridiculous. That every doorway on this boat is this like beautiful oiled teak, and then the bathroom up there is just a white door. I think that's a little out of place. So we are going to be using the closet door that's in here, because it's not really a necessity in here, for the bathroom up forward, so that we can have all matching doors throughout the boat and not have to worry about trying to match things or make that door specific. It'll make it a lot easier to kind of work with if everything's the same. I guess, what's another update? I have talked with a friend of mine whose name is Cushing. I will see about getting a link to his website and stuff like that for his shirts and his, I think he has one for his 3D printing. But we're going to be doing a commission work with him for 3D printing. The vents that I talked about in the very first vlog that are inlets for ventilation for the engine room that were leaking originally, we're going to look into replacing the actual pipes themselves, these things right here, because they're obviously, as you can see, not in great condition. But commissioning him for his 3D printing and see about getting a kind of like drip tray in a way, a catch, kind of like a funnel in a way, so that way there any water that comes in through there goes through the funnel and down the tube, and we don't have to worry about it rotting any more wood anymore. And I'll probably do the same for the ones that are over here, get underneath them and see, probably tear the wall apart to do so. But I think that's all that I've done off camera. So now that you're all caught up to date, let's go over again really quickly what we're doing today. Today is all about trying to get that engine part out. We're going to, because it's such a beautiful day outside, try and put the new name on the back of the boat. If I can get it on there, I'm going to cover it up so that nobody can see it. It's going to stay the way it is until the renaming ceremony. And then the biggest thing that I'm going to try and do, other than those two, is attempt to get the coolant pump off of the port engine. if I can get that off and keep it off, or at least get it off to take it to the store, I can look into getting a new one and replacing it so that the boat is mechanically sound and functional, so that if the boat needs to move, it can move. Those are my 3 things on the agenda today. Try and do before I have to go to work. If I can't, then I just go back tomorrow and do some more before I have to go to work again. And then Monday, Tuesday I have off, so we're gonna go get those batteries that we talked about, and maybe the plumbing for the toilets. Go see our buddy Nico. See if we can get some video with him. He might like that. Yeah, let's get to it and get the day going. For anyone who's wondering how grody it is, oh, you probably can't see in there that well, but it's pretty nasty in there. Not sure how well you can see in there, but yeah, whole engine room's torn apart. All 3 deck plates are open. Yeah, the and you really can't see it. The engine's sitting right there in the darkness in front of you. It is very dark right now. I've been here all day. I have taken apart the generator completely. It's out of the engine room. The generator part is up here. The engine part is down there still. It's just sitting in the salon. When I took it apart, I took apart a few things that I didn't mean to, I guess, and it dumped some oil into the engine room. Most of it ended up on the actual mount, so that it's just kind of sitting there, absorbed by the accumulator that was already there anyways. Some of it did go not into the bilge, but into a side pocket that does connect to the bilge, but I caught it in time before it could get there, so we're not going to have any issues with like oil going overboard or anything else like that. The area down there still looks like a murder scene, basically, if you consider oil like blood. But it's all very easily cleaned. It's all like very thin sheet layers, just enough to see that there was oil. Nothing's going to drip down and into the bilge and get sucked overboard or anything else like that. I took the coolant pump off the port engine, like I've been wanting to. I believe that the backplate sealant is what was actually leaking. Maybe the sealants around the inlet and outlet is also what was leaking, but I'm not sure. But it was really grody on the inside too. I can see if I can grab a quick small clip of that before I take off. But yeah, it was pretty gross. It was all rusted and nasty on the inside, so getting a new one no matter what is a good idea, even if it's not leaking from there. The other thing we did today was we started cutting off the name from the back of the boat. I was using a razor back there, sitting there. And I got probably about halfway through before the weather kind of kicked me off the swim deck. I would have had a video of it, but I was worried. That weather I'm talking about is a really big storm that's coming in from off the coast. We had some pretty high winds earlier, and I couldn't feel anything sitting on the swim deck because, it just comes around the bow of the boat and straight off the back. But the GoPro would have been sitting on the dock, and I would have been really afraid that the wind would have knocked it off into the water. So, unfortunately, I don't have a video of that, but I got about halfway through it. The name that we chose for the boat is not going to fit the way we designed it. We designed it to be kind of curved over with the Bremerton Washington underneath, and the davit on the back is going to be in the way of that. So the current name is in a straight line underneath it with the Seattle Washington up on the right. So we're going to have to see if we can move it around. All the letters are separate right now, so we're going to see if we can do them more like an italicized cursive type idea, because it's cursive already. I just hope that I can make it work, because I don't think I have enough vinyl to redo that. I have enough vinyl to redo the hull number like I was talking about, but that takes 6 sheets of 2x1, 2 foot by 1 foot, to be able to get it all, and that's a lot of vinyl that gets used and wasted at the same time. I could repurpose it if I really wanted to, but I don't have a reason to right now. I stopped making stickers and stuff like that a while ago. I went through and I found all my plumbing stuff. My showers and my sinks are already set up to go overboard, provided the 2 shower pumps work with no issues, which they look like they will because they look brand new. The shower hose is disconnected from the bottom of it in the aft shower, so it's kind of just chilling out underneath it. I have to reconnect that. Other than that, that whole system should be perfect. It should work just fine on its own. For the toilets, all the plumbing is there. It just needs to actually be hooked up to the tank. Some extra plumbing is going to be needed to extend some of the things, but theoretically, the water's hooked up, the actual crap pipe is hooked up. Once we hook up to the tank, shouldn't be no problem. I still have to learn how that whole system works with, actually providing to the tank and then sucking it out of the boat, so that I can make sure I can monitor it while we're trying to dump our sewage. I found my freshwater tank, and it's a 100-gallon tank, which is not a whole lot, but it's a lot-ish, kind of for us, just the two of us. Should be plenty, especially with us being able to be on the pier for 3 nights a week. And we can always pull in during the day to redo it if we really need to. And if we really needed to, we could buy like 1 or 2 gallon jugs and just dump them down the freshwater hatch or hole that's in the back while we're out on the anchor. But that's there. It needs to be flushed. There's some kind of like weird gray sand in the bottom that I gotta ask some friends about and see if they've ever seen that before. If it needs to be flushed, we'll see if we can just unplug the bottom of it in a way and just flush it into the bilge. Maybe just dump it overboard. But get the fresh water nice and clean, good to go. That takes a lot off my back. That takes a lot of strain away from having to constantly be working on here, knowing that most of the plumbing's already done and it doesn't need a lot, which means that I can focus on other things and not have to be concerned with that too much, because we're just trying to get out on the open water. We're just trying to get out of the house. It costs so much to live there. It's like, I want to say 4/5 of our income right now to be able to live at the house and have the boat and the slip. We weren't intending to have the slip so early. We wanted to get the slip later on, and that's just not how it happened. We were gonna anchor out in open water and just use a dinghy to get back and forth from the boat and kind of have it free out there, which would have really sucked to do all of this, but you know, now that I'm actually doing it, but it would have been free. It wouldn't have costed us $500 and something a month. That didn't work though, obviously. All the docks that are around, they want like $20 a night for a dinghy, and you can only do it for like 3 nights out of the week, and that's it. The rest of them you have to have a dinghy away, so it doesn't really work out that way. Either way, the slip ended up working out the best for us. So we are doing the best that we can with it. It's definitely going to be a rough road ahead. Yeah, not really much else to do or talk about, really. If anybody has any questions, please ask away and I'll answer everything I possibly can. I do monitor the comments, even though there was only like 3 on the last one. But if you guys want to know anything, if anybody wants to ask questions, even if it's, you know, why did you do this type thing, or you think this is a really dumb idea, I'll gladly tell you why. I'll gladly answer all those questions you have, and we'll just keep on trugging, you know? You guys are going to see all the struggles that we have. So we will see you next time. Have a good one.